Some men wait for motivation. Others build systems so strong, motivation really becomes irrelevant. Manning Sumner isn't a fitness influencer. He's an architect of discipline. From the gym floor to global brand deals, he's built one of the most respected performance cultures in America. Today, we're not talking six packs or supplements. We're talking structure, self-respect, and showing up when nobody's watching. This is the edge, and this is what happens when discipline becomes your religion. Average isn't built on accident, neither is excellence. If you're tired of living in the shadows of good enough, if you're ready to forge a physique, a mindset, and a legacy that dominates, then listen up. Because today, we're cutting through the noise with a man who doesn't just talk about peak performance, he engineers it. He's built empires, transformed lives, and now he's here to reveal the blueprint to all of it. This is The Edge, and my guest is the legendary Manning Sumner. Get ready to build. Well, no better time than bring in the man, the myth, the legend, and the legacy, Manning Sumner. What I missed? Tell me about the very beginning of your career, how you ended up here. But start from the beginning.
So the very beginning would be broke my back in my junior year in high school, and I was actually misdiagnosed. They told me it was a pulled muscle, and so I played 9 games with a broken back until I literally one day I got stuck in my English desk. I'll never forget because it was the offensive coordinator was my English coach. And I just literally, a tear started going down my eye, and he was like, you know, what's wrong? And I was like, I can't get out of my desk. I can't move my legs. I can't. And so then I had a bone specialist identify that I actually had a hairline fracture in my L5-S1. And
L5-S1, that's a brutal one. That's the one that shoots pain down both your legs.
Mainly the right side. I was just telling Oscar on the way up here, I couldn't even drive, you know. It was like one of those things. It was just unbearable pain. Yeah, in high school. Yeah. And then, you know, the doctor's typical, you know, you're never going to walk again. You're never going to play again. I just refused to hear that and actually went to a chiropractor that to this day, well, he passed away, but before he passed away, he said he could have healed Bo Jackson if Bo didn't have his surgery. So that always stood.
They always say that.
I know.
By the way, for the record, transparency, I had L4, L5-S1 disc surgery. Brutal.
Yeah. I haven't had surgery.
You haven't had surgery.
I have not had surgery.
You're probably smart because of the recovery is worse than the injury itself.
I've done like hundreds of thousands of dollars of stem cells and injections and every.
So now you're aspiring football player. What happens after you heal?
Yeah, so I built myself back, became Defensive Player of the Year in Alabama, walked on as a preferred walk-on at Auburn, earned a scholarship.
No kidding, wow.
Ended up going into spring training as the starter after Tikio Spikes.
What position?
Inside linebacker. So I was actually Tikio Spikes' backup for 2 years. And then I had my moment where I was going to be the starter, so I'm the starting Mike linebacker for Auburn University, pretty big deal, SEC, and then I break my back again.
How?
And then this time, listen, when you're deadlifting 600 pounds and squatting 600 pounds and, you know, and then you're hitting, you know, back then you hit with your head. Yeah. You know, you led with your head. Yeah. That's how they taught us to spear you in the neck. And I certainly did a lot of that. And you just, over time, just that constant beating myself up.
Compression.
The compression, it actually fractured this time fully. So before it was a hairline partial fracture, this time
same location.
Exact spot, same exact off the facet joint in L5-S1. And that was it.
They have, since my surgery was probably 15, 17 years ago, they've come amazing strides on surgical spine surgeries and replacements and titanium. I have titanium in the front, which is a lot better than the lower. The lower is a brutal injury. So now you break your back. You legit break your vertebrae this time. What? How old are you? You're a sophomore, freshman, sophomore?
So 22 or something.
You're like
pretty young. Yeah.
Okay, so now career's over?
Now it's like, you know, you got to find yourself, right? You got to, your whole life you're going to be a professional football player, right?
Oh,
so
yes.
That was devastating. I went about 3 months where I kind of got depressed and started, like, I'd never drank, never did drugs. And, you know, I started drinking, doing a little drugs, but that lasted like 90 days. It was like, all right, this isn't who I am. So then I just absolutely dove into exercise science, kinesiology, anatomy, health promotions. I just dove into the why. Like, why did this happen to me? And I started to learn how a better way to train and a better way to to train the body. And then I started to giving that back to the actual guys on the team. And by the time I was a senior, after my redshirt junior year, I had more guys training with me at the local Gold's Gym than the actual strength coach.
So you become a personal trainer to the team.
Became a personal trainer, strength coach to existing players on the team.
The Auburn, yeah.
And I realized early on that I had a knack for leadership. Like I could get people to go beyond what they thought they could do. And it was just immediate. I mean, I'm talking guys that typically were kind of hard to push and lazy, and then I could get it out of them. And I realized, all right.
At Gold's Gym, no less. Not your own gym. You just
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. So now you're a young guy.
I'm training 20, 30 guys.
Making a living.
Making a name for myself. When I had an opportunity to graduate, I had a choice of either staying at Auburn and graduating with paperwork, or go do an internship at Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama, with my original personal trainer that he personal trained me in 7th grade, Tommy Rowland, to be his assistant strength coach. And so I jumped on that opportunity, did that. And then while I was doing that, I was training at the first AC Fitness in Birmingham, doing personal training, doing the strength coach thing. And then I got a call from a buddy of mine that lived in Miami, and he was like, hey, if you shave your head, and this one I had hair, he's like, I can get you as a body double, stunt double for Bad Boys 2. And so I literally shaved my head on the spot, and I got the job, and I packed my car up, had $2,000 to my name, and drove my Nissan Maxima with cloth interior, stick shift, all the way down to Miami, and that's.
So this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're a stunt double on Bad Boys too.
Yeah, I'll never forget showing up to the set, and I had my own trailer, my own makeup artist, everything. And then
Will Smith's stunt double?
No, definitely not Will Smith's. It was a character called Zank. It was one of the SWAT team guys.
Okay.
It was funny too, because I met him, actually super nice guy, but he was Cuban, so he's real short. And when I met him, I'm like, how am I going to be his stunt? I mean, I was 6-7 inches taller than him. It was pretty funny.
You can't tell.
You can't tell in movies.
On the movies. Okay, so now you get the fever for celebrity. I'm in a movie.
Definitely. You start to think that that's the path you're going to take. You start to get into modeling and start taking acting classes and start going on casting calls and all that. But obviously doesn't pay the bills at all. So I had to figure out how I was going to make money.
How much you make for the stunt for your first stunt?
$330 a day. And it was about a 3-month thing. So it was decent. It got me started, definitely. But I knew it wasn't going to be for the long haul. So I'll never forget walking into Crunch Fitness on 15th and Washington or somewhere around there.
Okay.
And that was the happening gym in South Beach. Beyonce, Madonna, Eminem, everybody worked.
I'm just thinking of the location, 15th and Washington. Yeah. This is what, 10 years, 15 years? How long ago? Because it's a tough area about then.
2002-ish.
Okay, so it wasn't the way it is now. That Washington was a little seedy.
But it was actually. I mean, I feel like now it's a little hood.
Okay, all
yeah.
right.
Back then it was the place. That was the hot spot. It was kind of what Fifth and the south of Fifth.
So all the models were hanging out.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
Crunch.
It was a happening gym.
Yeah.
There was 38 independent trainers, and I was number 39. And then after 3 months of being there, I had more clients than anybody. And I I realized early on that Miami had a very island vibe. Everybody was just slow to wake up, just kind of la la la. And I was up at 4, work all day, bed at 11, do it again. And I knew I could outwork everybody. So I was all right.
Where'd that come from? Where did that juice come from?
My dad probably,
Tell us.
Always woke me up early, hey, we're going for a run, or we're working out, or we're going to clean the car washes out, or, just instilled discipline at an early age. And of course you didn't like it then. You hated your dad basically for doing it. But now it's that's the man he made me into. So it's awesome.
Did you have money growing up, your family?
Yeah, my dad. So it's interesting. I grew up definitely with money in a beautiful house in Mountain Brook, which is in Mountain Brook in Alabama is the bougie area of Birmingham. And then, we moved to Greystone on the golf course, a nice house. But then my dad actually lost it all. And so
How?
So he did business with the wrong people, and they stole his company basically. He had a $88 million judgment that he thought he was going to win, and he lost it.
What business?
Healthcare. It was called like rehabilitation centers, basically.
So this whole physical fitness has kind of been in your blood. It's in your DNA from birth.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my dad's always been into working.
So now you know what it's like to be poor. The reason why I ask is because the folks who watch the show know that was my driving force in my life, right? So I grew up dead poor. We were dead fucking broke in Chicago. Like, couldn't afford shoes. I wrote a book, and one of the most pressing moments in my book was, I'll never forget, 7 years old, I walked into, my mom brought me to what was called Valueville, which was like a Kmart, and she said, pick out some sneakers. I was an athlete, right? And I went for the Pro Keds, and I'll never forget bringing the Pro Keds to the little shopping cart, and she said, can you pick out another pair? We can't afford those. I was devastated. At 7 years old, you have no idea that you can or can't afford things. Right. It's just everything is there, and that was the realization. And at that moment, I think that was the inspiration for never, ever wanting to go back there. And that just baseball to Wall Street to TV happened, I believe, because of that moment right there. Yeah. Anyway, so my point is, so now
when I was in Miami, I'm broke.
You know poverty.
Yeah, no, right. I'm in broke in Miami. I'm not. I'm actually, the interesting story, when I came down to Miami, my Nissan Maxima, both tires blew, and I didn't have money to get new tires. So I walked everywhere. And actually, I was in the best shape of my life. Then I was broke and I couldn't afford food. So I swear to God, I ate tuna out of a can from Walgreens and almonds every day. So I'd eat like 2 or 3 cans with a handful of almonds every day. This lasted for like 16 weeks. And I just kept stacking paper until eventually. And then also I was sleeping. So my buddy was a like 6'4", like gorgeous black man that was a model in Miami. He's the one that got me down there. We're sharing the tiniest efficiency apartment you can. We're stepping on each other, and it was a disaster. And so finally, I got enough money to move in with another person.
So now, where does it turn for you? At what point does it go from I'm working to survive to, there's more to this?
I mean, I really made a name for myself pretty fast. I mean, because I outworked everybody. So I had
hustle. You had hustle.
I had hustle, and there was a pull for people to want to train with me. I had 17 gay guys that trained with me. They absolutely loved it.
Was it your attitude? Was your upbeat attitude? Did your performance? What you look like? What was the link?
I think initially it was my look. I mean, I was shredded, and I was the white boy that stood out because it was very Latin, culture, and so I stood out. Had an accent at the time. I think I've lost it now, but had a little bit of a country accent. I think that helps.
It's still there.
A little bit. Thanks. And then I never said no. Like can you train me at 10? Yes. Can you train me at 2? Yes. I never said no. I never made it about me. I always made it about the client, and I knew that I was doing a service, that this was a service industry, and if I wasn't available and always available, then I wouldn't be successful.
This is an important topic because someone in personal training, for example, you'll hit max. There's only 16 hours max a day that you can work, and then you can't earn more money unless you hire people, right? So at some point, you figure it out, right? Tell us.
So that's a great point. I'll tell you one secret, though, to all you personal trainers out there. What I would do, though, is I would stack clients. So as long as you're giving people...
I read this. This is fascinating. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, I got to that point, right, where I was training from 5 a.m. till 10 p.m., had no open slots. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I started just stacking clients. And I tried to be strategic about it. So if I was training a guy, then I would try to match him up with another guy. If I was training a woman, I'd try to match him up with another woman. But sometimes I would literally just show up, and it would be the most random, professional athlete.
Well, that's the story I read. It was a professional athlete with a woman. Yeah. And you're like, this is going to be a disaster.
Yeah, it was Marion Barber. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
So what a stud. Yeah. And rest in peace. He showed up with this overweight woman, and I gave him the exact same workout, obviously different weight, and they were high-fiving, laughing.
Were you surprised that worked out?
A little bit, but not really, because I'd already done it for so long. I knew they were both going to get a good workout. I didn't realize they would bond so much, have that where
there's no competition, right?
Yeah,
It's not two dudes. They probably would hate Just trying to. They probably get hurt for one, trying to outmuscle the other. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. It was beautiful, and the light bulb really went off. That was, to your point earlier. That's where the light bulb went off. Is like, wait a minute. I can create what we call now, so we call it PIT, partner interval training. I can create a personal training session in a group format. And that's basically what I did. I created, it's still personal training. There's just more than one person. And at the end of the day, as long as
you found a way around the barrier of I only have a certain amount of hours in the day, and you don't have to hire someone to work for
exactly. Because I believe everything when it comes to business and scaling is about your systems. If you don't have systems, then you're never going to be able to
100 billion %. Systems
is everything.
I pound this to people I work with. Keep a system. Make it a cadence. Make it repetitive.
Yes.
And the expectation is right there. We've done it. This is where we do it. So go ahead. So now,
read Michael E. Gerber's books?
I don't read
the E-Myth seminar.
I got to be honest with you.
No,
I do TV and podcasts and watch football.
Basically, all his books are on systems and procedures and how to let the business work for you, not be in the business. And that's where like a lot of this stuff came from.
So now you're stacking and you're doing interval training, stacked interval training. What's it called? PIT.
Partner
interval training.
Yep.
Well, at one point you realize that I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to get my own facility.
Yeah, well, so that happened while I had my own facility. So when I left Crunch, I did a couple of stints at some other gyms. And then I was actually trying to raise money to do my own clothing brand. And one of my clients was like, what are you doing? Like, you should own a gym. And I was like, well, do you want to help me? And he's like, yeah. So we actually opened up a gym.
The first gym?
The first gym.
Legacy?
Legacy. It was called Legacy Fit at the time. The website's still legacyfit.com. And it was in Wynwood before Wynwood. So next to crack houses, next to hookers, next to homeless people. It was in the heart of Wynwood, way before Wynwood was Wynwood. So that was 2000.
Was the grittiness and toughness in the neighborhood maybe a draw for some wealthy people who like feel like they can go and work out?
Not really.
Feel like a badass.
It did the opposite. I had a lot of my
drive their Bentley back to Coral Gables.
No. Now my athletes loved it. But some of my high-end clients were like, I'm not going there. Okay. They literally stopped going.
Really?
Like,
okay.
I'm not going there. So, yeah.
So tell me, I think one of the fascinating things, and is what really caught my attention, No Days Off, and you put it, first you tell us what No Days Off is, because I think this is fascinating, because most facility gym owners would say, take some days off, because if everyone worked out every day, they'd be overcrowded.
And I got a lot of shit for that. Like early on, I got a lot of like people hating on the phrase, and you still see it out there that because No Days Off is often tied to the grind and hard work and never taking a day off. And actually, No Days Off is never taking a day off on you. It's a commitment to becoming your best self every single day you've given. I'll never forget. I was training Rico Love, famous R&B producer, produces for Beyonce and Usher and all these people. And we were sitting there, and he's one of those guys that he would get out of the studio at 6 in the morning and still come to his 9 o'clock session with me. And then one day we just kept saying to each other, man, we never take a day off. We never take a day off. And then we said no days off, like out loud, like no days off. We're not taking no days off like that. And then it just dawned on me that was my just do it. That was like that could be my motto. That could be the thing that goes beyond the gym walls. That's the thing that could start a movement. And so I loved Nike at the time, and I always wanted that just do it, but I didn't know what it was. And I remember we had other taglines like, what was it? Step into the box and like, stuff like that. And nothing ever really stuck with me. And it was like, leave a legacy was another one, and I was like, that's okay. But then when No Days Off, when I said it, and then I started to defend it. And I think when you create something and you start to say it, but then you have to defend your why of like, to your point, you were like, most people think No Days Off is the grind and the hustle and all that. So I kept saying, no. Like, why would you take a day off on yourself? Why would you take a day off on a vacation? Why would you take a day off on being able to take your son to school? Like, why would you do that? And ultimately, people started to buy in. Oh, that's what it means. Oh, I get it now. And started implementing in their life. And I mean, relationships changed. Obviously, fitness, goals changed. And just people, the way it impacted people's lives was incredible.
It seems petty, but I do believe when you put it on the ceiling, wow, it was a statement. It's like, this is what it's a movement. It's not just a facility. It's not just a gym.
Have you been to the spot the Spot barbershop?
I have not.
So the Spot, it's a pretty big chain, and they have God is Great on their ceiling, and that's actually where I got
Where
it.
you got it? Yeah.
Because I went in to get a head shave, and I looked up, and I was like,
We got to get this, Ben. We got to get a picture of the Spot with God is Great on there. But
or God is Good. I might something like that.
But the motto, the mantra.
Yeah, it was
right?
just really cool. I thought it was a dope concept, and then I started doing it in my gyms, and
I just love the idea of. That's really what this show is too. Honestly, Manning, it's when everyone says no, you got to be nice. Don't be toxic masculinity. Bullshit. No, we're back. You know,
Yes,
like
definitely.
we can. I can be 60 and use testosterone and work out 5-6 days a week. I can do it, and I don't have to be apologetic for wanting to be a guy again, right? And I think you nailed it with everyone's saying, relax, go slow. I don't know, maybe do yoga, something soft, get some cappuccino. You said, fuck it, no days off.
Yeah.
Just work hard. It's
well,
you.
and even the fact that when people say you have to have rest days, well, I get that, but like, what if my rest day is going for a ruck? Like, what if that is rest to me? You know, because it does. It rests the mind. It helps with clarity. It helps with conviction. It helps.
Well, every day can't be leg day. So
exactly, right? You can't kill yourself every day. So, you know.
All right, so now Legacy opens. You start doing well. What are the trials and tribulation? Everyone gets their ass handed to them,
Everything, man. Like, I remember, so I opened November 2008, and December 2009, the entire gym was flooded, like over 4 feet of water. I'll never forget, I was sitting on a plyo box, my feet are dangling in the water, you know, shed a couple of tears, and then I was like, no, not today, you know, not today, you know. So, and then I jumped up, started getting all the water out, rearranging the gym, cleaning it up. And at the time, I think I was like $88,000 in the hole. I couldn't find another trainer to work. Like, my whole business model was 5 other trainers to do what I do, you know, and I couldn't find 5 others. I couldn't find one. I went through 19 trainers.
Why is that?
Part of it was me. I'll have to take responsibility if part of it was my expectation for what I believed hard work was. And so
wait. You're trying to find 5 you.
That's the problem.
That you can't find.
You're never going to find yourself.
This is a fascinating conversation right here. So you need people. You got to pay the bills. You need trainers.
Right.
You're not going to find another Manning Sumner. Not 5 of them, not one.
And for some reason, we look for it though. Like in the beginning, when you're naive and you're doing this on your own, you're trying.
Where did you come to the realization? I gotta get bodies in here to start training.
The 19th one, I think. You know, it's like, I think the light bulb has to eventually go off, and then also you have to adjust your leadership style. So I came from college football, right? And I came from a, you know, hardcore Southern dad. So my version of leadership was, you're going to do what I tell you to do, and you're going to do it how I tell you to do it, when I tell you to do it. And if you don't, I'm going to scream at you or what have you, and because that's what I was used to. And I started realizing that you got to find other people's love language. You got to figure out what motivates people. Some people do need that, and they like it. But then some people need a pat on the back and need admiration or need
So you're learning the skill of becoming a manager. I mean, you've been a badass. You've been a fitness guy. You've been a football player. Now you have to learn the nuance of managing people who aren't you.
People. Yeah. And realizing that it's not about working out. It's not about counting reps. It's literally about managing people. And that and even members. You know, that's something too that you have to adjust. Like now you have. So at the time, we had hundreds upon hundreds of people coming in and out of the gym. Ultimately, by 2019, we had 1,078 members. So, you know, that's a lot of people to manage, not just staff, but you're managing people's emotions and their wants and their desires and their needs. So it's a lot. All
right. So let's talk a little bit about in the gym now. Yeah. A lot of folks tune in because they want to talk about what they're doing. No days off. Is it the repetition that matters, or is it the weight that matters? Just what's a good workout for someone that maybe wants to up their game?
Well, a good workout is the workout. Like, and what I mean by that is consistency is everything. So if you're not doing something almost every single day, then you're not gonna, you know, consistency compounds over time. And I think everybody nowadays wants that quick, instant gratification. Oh, I'm gonna do some crazy 30-day diet and, you know, work out 3 hours a day, and then I'm gonna get the body of my dreams. And it really, you should look at it as like working out should be like taking a shower. Like, why are we looking at working? Working out is not a punishment. It's not something I have to do.
How do you change that, though? How do you change it from this is hard, this makes me ache while I do it, it hurts, it burns, to this feels good.
You change it by doing it. It's in the doing, it's in the taking the action of showing up. It's in the movement that creates the motivation. I think oftentimes we sit and we wait to be motivated, and there is no motivation in waiting. There's only motivation in movement. So it's funny. I still get it. I'm sure you get it too. We don't always show up to the gym ready. But as soon as you get into it, and as soon as you get into that fourth set, and and I heard a woman actually talking about it, that our muscles actually give off these proteins like when we work out that are like antidepressants. So
endorphins.
She obviously described it way better than I did.
Some people get a runner's high from running.
Yeah, running. Some people get exactly. But I think it goes back to the movement. It's moving the body. And so if you don't feel like lifting weights, go for a walk. If you don't feel like running, then crawl. Just move. And at the end of the day, if you do that and show up for yourself every single day, then eventually you're going to see results. But I think you always lead with, especially men, lead with resistance training. I think if men are not lifting weights, then what are you doing?
It's a game changer.
It literally will change your life.
Yeah, I have a doctor who, we can talk about supplements too. I started testosterone and it was creatine. Everything was great. I'm running, I'm walking, I'm going. Until I started upping the game in the gym, that's where the real definition came from the resistance. It wasn't the aerobic stuff. It wasn't any other stuff.
And it's being consistent with that. Yeah. So, for me, it's like 3 to 4 days a week of very specific resistance training. I like the push-pull concept. So I do a lot of antagonistic training, chest and back, legs, shoulders and lats, things that complement each other. So if you do a movement this way, do a movement this way. If you do a movement this way, do a movement this way. It creates a lot of balance in the body. For athletes, I always say 2 to 3 pulls for every push, because everything that we do is kind of front.
There's a lot of current speculation on what's better to do. Start at your highest weight, whether it's curls or bench, whatever, and work your weight lower with more reps. Or do you start low with more reps and work your way into failure at the higher weights? Which is better, you think?
I don't think there is something better or worse, and I think there's studies that can counter. You know what I mean? Like, I was one of those guys that always, back in the day, I would always read like every single Muscle and Fitness and Flex magazine. It was so funny because every month the
something different was the best thing ever.
Exactly. Every month it's like something food. Contradicted.
All of a sudden, butter and salt are good for you. It used to be like that shit will kill you.
And again, it goes back to, so if there's different research on different stuff, and this way is doing, especially now we have every single podcast is saying that this is the way. What are you going to commit to, and what are you going to stick to? That's it, really it. It's like this whole cold plunging and sauna thing, and everybody's like, well, you're not supposed to do it then, you're not supposed to do it. Well, how about just doing it,
It's amazing. It's a big fan of that as well. Yes, all right, so now you're pumping, you got it going on. When do you decide you're going to expand?
Like into another location?
Yeah. Nashville's coming, right?
Yeah, that's our 8th location. But
8th?
8th, yes, sir.
Huh, wow.
Yeah, so it was basically one of those situations.
That's a lot of people to manage.
A lot, yeah, I know. It really boiled down to, there was 2 factors. The number one factor is I'd always wanted to work with my brother. He was a phenomenal trainer and sales guy in Naples, before that in Pensacola, and he has 3 kids and a wife, and we just couldn't figure out how to get him to Miami and work for me. So when the opportunity came, what happened was there was a CrossFit style gym called Iron Tribe in Coral Gables that was for sale, and they were going out of business, and they wanted X amount of dollars. And so my current business partner at the time showed it to me, and I was like, yeah, we can do that. We can make this happen. So then I called my brother. I'm like, I found the gym you can run, and so it was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It was like, let's expand.
What year is this?
This is 2017 was my second.
He's still.
So I went with 1 location for 9 years before I opened up my second.
And then boom, boom, boom.
And then so when we did that, the gym at the time was there for 3.5 years, and they never had more than 110 members. In 3.5 months, 4 months, we had 430 members.
What do you attribute that to?
We totally remodeled the entire gym. Like there was 3 offices in the gym. What do you need an office in the gym for? So we tore all that out. It was ugly as hell. Like we put all our branding and no days off on the ceiling, we did all that and created the environment for connection and enthusiasm. As soon as you walk in, you feel a certain aura in the air. And then the pit, the system works. I mean, the system, it's push-pull, cardio, push-pull core. It's you go, your partner goes, you go, your partner goes, 20 stations, 2 minutes a station, 30 seconds off. In between each station, you're meeting people. We've had 17 marriages, 20-something babies at Legacy. You know what I mean? Like it's such a true community and connection. You hear that all the time. A lot of gyms, we have a great community, but they don't really. And
that's because the founders in the gym probably all day long.
Yeah, that's
one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to working out. Do you supplements, testosterone, other things?
Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been on peptides before peptides were a thing.
Right.
I'm 48 and feel 30, so right. I think I'm doing something right. But I'm
You believe in creatine?
I do. I took my 5 grams today, and sometimes.
Why is it 5 for everyone? I don't get that. I don't. You don't take 5.
No, I take more than 5. Yeah. I took 5 this morning.
Right,
I take it like throughout the day.
Yeah, right.
And
right.
I did try. I don't know if you've tried this yet. If you ever sleep deprived, have you tried the whole 30 grams thing?
No.
So I did it once and it works. It works.
Of creatine.
So like if you don't get any sleep and like you're going on like say 2 hours of sleep, take 30 grams of creatine. But get ready for a little bit of diarrhea. But you're all of a sudden,
sleep.
But you feel
you shit the bed while you're sleeping.
It makes you feel like you're awake. Like you're not tired. It's wild.
Yeah. There are recent studies saying the creatine may have a lot of positive effect on brain function. Yeah. Not just muscle function, but actual cognitive function.
Lane Norton just came out and said that all the studies on like that it damages your kidney and livers. Debunked. Not true.
Huh. Protein powders?
No.
Never.
No. I haven't had a protein shake in.
Why is that?
20-something years.
Why?
I don't believe in it.
Tell me. So
the main reason I don't believe in it is because I believe in how your body responds to something. So if I drink a protein shake and I start farting immediately, like what is that?
It's probably lactose intolerance for one. It's probably
still,
whey protein.
It's a little weird, right? So, and I don't want to be farting all day, So that's something I don't. So I eat eggs and steak, sometimes fish. And,
so let me just throw this out. The same issues. Yeah. Like I'm wildly lactose intolerant. I was doing the protein shakes, bad stomach issues.
You don't need it.
Well, I switched to plant-based proteins and it went away. The stomach issues went away for me.
Yeah,
for me. So
it's to each its own.
Yeah,
but you won't catch me dead drinking a vegan.
No way. So you not vegan. It's just where the protein.
If it's plant-based, it's vegan.
Got it. All right.
And one of my favorite trainers, JT. Shout out JT. We were dying out laughing the other day because I'm carnivore, he's vegan. We always bust each other's balls about it. And I'm just messing. Like I don't.
How much protein do you go for protein naturally then a day? Is there like
6
a
to
goal?
12 eggs a day, and typically like 1 or 2 steaks a day.
Okay, so you get about 70, 80 grams of protein a day.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And how much you weigh?
220, 225.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so when did these products pop into the world?
So if you remember what I said, like when No Days Off, when I created No Days Off, I knew that I needed something that went beyond the gym walls, something that somebody could attach to their life. I knew that it was going to be bigger than a gym. I did think that it was going to be supplements or apparel was kind of what I thought would boom. Mm-hmm. And it turns out it's premium water. So it's been 4 years now.
Oh, no, yeah. It's been around for 4 years.
So 4 years ago, Adam Siegel introduced me. We were looking for gym investors, and he introduced me to a man named William Mafood. You good?
No, yeah.
No. We like the sound, so it's.
Oh, I wanted Ben to grab that. There you go.
You got to pop that top, my man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wonderful.
Thank you. So it's a gentle carbonation.
Yeah,
or
it's not. It doesn't make your eyes water. It's
So the main reason I did that is that I love sparkling water, but I couldn't find a sparkling water that I could drink while I worked out because it always made my stomach hurt and it's too harsh of a mouthfeel. Yep. So I wanted to create something you could pound while you worked out, and that's why I created this. But early on, my current business partner, Adam, introduced me to a man named William Mafood, who owns the largest food and beverage distribution in the English-speaking Caribbean in Jamaica. And we started a beverage company, and it was right around the time that Liquid Death was kind of making some noise. And I thought, okay, if they disrupted the budget water space, the Zephyr Hills, the Aquafinas, the Dasanis of the world, why don't I go after the Fijis, the Vossas, the Aquapana, and Saratoga? Why don't I kick the premium waters in the ass? Like, why don't I go after Evian? Why don't I do this? And because when's the last time it's been done? Like, it's always, you go to a restaurant, they bring you Aquapana. You go to a restaurant, they bring you Evian. It's just been something that's happened for the last 100 years. So I was like, here's an opportunity to actually disrupt the premium water space, bring something that goes beyond a can, bring something with a positive message, but then also what's in this can is absolutely special. We are the purest water on the planet, and part of that is because of our process and our sourcing. Right now, most premium waters come from lakes and mountains and glaciers and things like that, and unfortunately, as humans, we're polluting the world, right? So you're never going to have a premium water without something bad in it coming from the earth. It's just not going to happen.
All right, before we conclude, the show's The Edge. It's about men, generally men, the grit, the perseverance, the getting knocked down, getting back up. If you were to define, I would say, the most influential input into you clearly have an edge. You're succeeding. What was the most important input to finding your edge?
Input as something I read or received?
Read, saw, parent, friend. One thing made you define your edge and realize, I'm going to conquer this versus lay down.
Exactly what I went through. I think finding purpose in my pain. You know, I always, not that I ever was like, why me? But it's like, when you go through the type of injuries that I went through and you're in 24-hour pain, and you get to the other side of that because you never stopped, then you almost feel invincible. Like, I can do anything because I went through hell, and at the time that was my hell. I'm talking 24-hour pain. Like, I could not sit here and talk to you without shooting pain, right? And that went on for years and years and years. So to get on the other side of that and be successful and still growing, and then it's like, just the lesson in it is just don't stop. Don't allow it.
Before we go,
yeah,
some of the people you've trained or worked with in the past, I think people love to hear any sort of stories or big names. I know you don't want to tell all the secrets, but
no. I mean, I've worked with. I mean, my best probably client over the years, Sean Livingston, was such an incredible opportunity to be able to work with. One of the most devastating knee injuries in the history of sports, really, and be able to rehab him back and get him playing and winning. He's now a 4-time world champion. That was pretty awesome. Guys like Joe Johnson that could still play to this day and lives that no days off lifestyle. Helping Matt Kemp make the most phenomenal comeback when everybody kind of wrote him off was great. I mean, the list goes on and on. Joyous Peppers is one of the guys that, I mean, he could do push-ups and be fine. It wasn't me for any reason, but just having the opportunity to train someone that is just a freak, like a specimen of a man, and just a gentle giant too, a great soul. I think, it was awesome.
Cool. Manning Sumner, when's Nashville?
So hopefully in 30 days we'll be opening in Nashville, and it's going to be beautiful in Germantown. 12,000 square foot facility, co-working space, spa, the whole nine. It's
a big city. Nash Vegas.
Yes,
Nash
sir.
Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure to meet you, my friend.
Yes,
Good
sir.
to see you.
Thank you.
No days off.
No days off.
All right, folks. Most men wait for the moment they feel ready. The ones who win don't wait. They move anyway. Manning Sumner didn't build his empire on hype or hashtags. He built it on reps. Reps in the gym, reps in life. Reps in doing the hard thing again and again until it becomes who you are. Discipline isn't a mood, it's a muscle. And if you train it long enough, it becomes armor. If you took something from this show, share it, subscribe, and stay sharp, because the world doesn't reward the loudest voice. The world rewards the one who shows up every damn day.